today is Friday, but I am. You know what? What I was going to do. Well, I already did my rant for today because today is Friday. And you know I do rants on Friday, so I already did my rant for today, and I am uploading it. I am uploading it to YouTube now, but I put it up as private so that way I can do some tweaking on it before I put it up. I want to use the YouTube video tweaker, video editor, how the case may be, just to see, you know, if I could basically do stuff with that. Because the simple fact of the matter that I think, definitely some other videos I've told y'all that I've been trying to do this video editing, and it just isn't working out for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I do the videos, and then when I go to try to upload it, it just has a problem. So I don't know what to say about that. So what I was going to do is I was going to do makeup tutorial on tutorial on some Nikki K lipsticks. And these are true matte. I like matte lipsticks. These are true matte. And I was going to do a video right now. I was going to do this video on that, but I don't feel like doing a video on that right at this very moment. So I am going to still post the video up tonight. Hopefully I'm going to still post the video up tonight, but right now I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm going to do the video and like post it up tonight, but I don't feel like talking about that right now. What I want to talk about right now is because I started out, as soon as I started out, I was like, that's what I was going to do for this second video here today on Friday. It's a nice day outside. I live in New York City. It's a very nice day outside, so I'm getting ready to go outside. So what I wanted to talk about is this is not a rant. What I wanted to talk about is how I got into being a pastry chef and having my own business. I have actually 3 businesses. I am self-employed basically, which is, business. And I have a business, which is the bakery, Southern Charities Bakery. And then I work for the city. I used to work for the state, now I work for the city. So I am a hustler, y'all. I'm a hustler. And then behind me, as you see these 2 licenses here behind me, this is my license. This right here, I have my hand up this way. This is my license for ministry, ceremonial ministry, and this is my New York City license to practice ceremonial ministry in New York City. I have to have a special license to practice in New York City. And I do weddings, I do funerals and baptisms, things of that nature, ceremonial things. So no, I don't get on the pulpit with my long-winded behind. Maybe I should, who knows, whatever. But I don't get on the pulpit and talk and preach. I use this platform here, YouTube, and talk. And sometimes it might come out a little preachy, but hey, whatever. But no, I don't think I ever plan to get behind the pulpit and preach, because I got a whole nother thing going on with that. But that'll be another video for another time of the reason why I'm not really too much into that. Even though I did minor in biblical studies, major in marketing, business, and minored in biblical studies. Anyway, so what I really wanted to talk about, like I said, was got into food. When I was younger, now see, this is the thing. I live here in the United States, so if someone's watching this in another country, I don't know, if you know what PBS is, but it's the public broadcasting station here in the United States, here in New York. Definitely, it's the public. They have the public broadcasting station. I haven't even seen the public broadcasting station. I don't know how long, but anyway, growing up, that was my favorite channel. Channel 13. I live here in New York City, and it was Channel 13. That was my favorite channel. here in New York City growing up was the PBS Public Broadcasting Station. Now, I'm going to let you know, if you don't know, if you have never seen any of my other videos, I have, in few of my videos, let people know I did not grow up with cable. So, you know, it makes me know, never mind. And I don't have cable now. I do have Hulu and I don't have Netflix, but I do have Hulu and I have Amazon TV and stuff like that. And I used to have Sling TV, but whatever. Anyway, so I didn't grow up with cable, so it makes me really know, never mind, to have cable. Now, my husband, he grew up with cable, so, you know, whatever. So I did the lesser of two evils, because cable is so expensive. I did the lesser of two evils, and now we have Hulu, and the Amazon TV. I got that, you know, with the whatever. So anyway, because we at the 6 minutes, and I still haven't talked about what I actually really wanted to talk about. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Work with me, Johnson Zevas. Yes. So anyway. Like I said, growing up, public broadcasting, PBS. So I love that. Now my mother knew that I love that station. But by the time when she came home, because I was a latchkey kid. If you don't know what a latchkey kid is, basically, you know, had a key, you know, to the house, and I would come home, and you know, and my mother would already have my little snack or whatever, you know, prepared. I just take it out of the refrigerator or whatever, and, you know, have my snack and do my homework. So by the time my mother comes home from work, I've had a snack, my homework's done, and I'm watching PBS. So when she came home, now she didn't really know. Growing up, my mother didn't really know that I was really into food. And also, I never really said nothing about it, because the simple fact of the matter, growing up, I didn't think you could really make any money, you know, in food. I didn't really take that into consideration, that you could really make money, you know, in food. And by the grace of God, I make a good living off of my food. I do wedding cakes, you know, primarily wedding cakes is the bulk of the business, but, you know, I can bake, and also I can cook. So anyway, when my mother now my mother is from the South. She's from the South. Her name is Charity, hence the name Southern Charity's Bakery. So she would cook, and she coming from the South, she was one of those people that made everything from scratch. Like, she's not even going out and buying French fries from the supermarket. She's going out, she buying potatoes, and she cutting up those potatoes. And if I want a cheeseburger, because I like cheese, and if I want a cheeseburger, she's going out and buying burger meat, and she's making the cheeseburger, and she's getting the buns and toasting the buns, and she's putting that cheese on there, and she's, you know, making the onions. I like onions too. She loves onions too. And, you know, glazing, you know, putting that onions in the pan, and glazing those onions so they nice and sweet and everything, case may be. Like, this is what my mother did. Potatoes, mashed potatoes. My mother not buying no instant potatoes. She's gonna go out and buy potatoes, and she's gonna boil them, and she gonna mash them, you know, whatever, and potato salad. And my mother is an excellent cook. She doesn't do a lot of cooking now because she had 2 strokes back to back, and that is the reason why she doesn't live here in New York City anymore. She lives back home on the ranch down south in Charleston, South Carolina. But when my mother cooked, I mean, whew, she put her foot in that daggone food. And greens, ooh, baby, bye. Macaroni and cheese, ooh, you better stop playing. So I got you know, a lot of recipes when it comes down to that Southern cuisine, cornbread, yeah, crackling cornbread, all that stuff. You know, I got that from my mom. Now, when my mother cooked, I would be in the kitchen. I would be in the kitchen with my books. And if a lot of books, reading and stuff like that. And then, like, sometimes I would read, you know, stories out loud while my mother was cooking. But she didn't know that I actually was paying attention to what she was doing. I paid attention, and a lot of times I'd write it down, you know, what she put in stuff and how the case may be. So when I asked her for, you know, recipes, you know, our family recipes, a lot of them I already basically knew because, like I said, I would write them down. And going back to the PBS station, like I said, when she came home, I was watching the PBS station, but when she came home, the things that was on would be science, math and science show. Like I used to watch this show called MathNet, and that's why I'm really so excellent in math. Shout out to MathNet, okay? 321 Contact, that's science. Bill Nye, the science guy, you know, reading Rainbow. That's why I like to read. Thank you, Lord. Like all those different things, you really, you know, really helped me. So those would be the things that would be on at the time when she would come home. So she didn't know I liked, you know, food. So earlier, before she came home, I would watch like the food. The food channels would be on. Yen can't cook. If Yen can't cook, so can you. The Frugal Gourmet. That's where I got the frugal part of Frugal Diva. The Frugal Gourmet. What is her name? Julia Child. You know, yes, and I have an alter ego, Faith Mundane, and I kind of try to talk like Julia Child when I do my alter ego, Faith Mundane. There was this other cook, I don't know his name, but he was from Louisiana, and he used to be like he's always like guaranteed, and he used to mostly he made a lot of different stuff, but he mostly made, because being from Louisiana, he made a lot of seafood. So he made like the catfish and the shrimp gumbo and crabs and all that kind of stuff, and you know, his Louisiana hot sauce, and he would tell stories while he cooked, and oh, wonderful. And the two fat ladies, one of the ladies passed away, so they, you know, that's why that show. You know, little older, Barefoot Contessa. When I got older, Barefoot Contessa, stuff like that. But just a lot of different shows, and I really loved them. I really enjoyed them. So then, as I got older, I would try out the different dishes. The case may be. So, but like I said, growing up, my mother didn't know that was my thing, cooking. I love cooking. I love baking. I love cooking. And also, as I was younger, I didn't know that you could really make money, cooking. So I've always been a person that's been helpful. I love to help. I've always been a person with education. Love education. I like to learn. I will ask 1,000,001 questions because I like to learn. I like to know. I like to learn. And then now with this, growing up, I didn't have no internet because internet wasn't out when I was growing up. But now that we have internet and Google and all that stuff, you can research anything. Like somebody tell you something, and that's one of my pet peeves. I do not like when somebody goes off of something somebody else told them, and they don't do their own research. Because a lot of times, and I won't say that it's a bad thing, but a lot of times, something that somebody else told you is because they did research for themselves. A lot of times that's what it is. So what they told you is true, but it may just be true to their situation. Your situation might not be exactly the same as their situation. So you can't go off of what somebody else just told you. You need to look up the information yourself. And that's a pet peeve of mine. And when somebody come to me and say, well, this is da-da-da-da-da, and the first thing I ask is, you know that because you looked it up, or you went through this experience, or whatever the case may be? Oh, no, because such and such told. What? Oh, no. Get the gun. Oh, no. Shoot that out the water. Get that out of here with that bull crap. You got to go on with that. Go on now. If you didn't research it, or it wasn't your own experience, don't tell me about what somebody else and somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. Because even that person might not even research it. That person might have got it from somebody else. And then you know how that daggone old game go with telephone. Every time somebody tell it, they take out add something in, all kinds of craziness. So no, don't do that with me. But anyway, oh gosh, I went into a rant, didn't I? But no, this is a rant, like I said. But anyway, anyway, so yeah, that's how I got into and now that you know, minored in biblical studies, majored in business with a concentration in marketing. I have brought all of those things together. I've also gone to school to for pastry chef, because a lot of people don't. Okay, well, I won't say a lot of people. What I'm going to say is within the field of chefs, a lot of chefs, and you know, if I'm wrong, then y'all can come on and comment and say, you know, that I'm wrong and tell me why I'm wrong. But this is what I'm about to tell you. A lot of chefs can cook their behind off. They went to school or home training, how the case can be, and can cook their behind off, but can't bake worth a lick. Okay, cannot bake worth a lick. But they will tell you, because especially the ones that went to school, they will tell you that they know how to bake. No. Baking is a science. And I'm not going to take anything away from, you know, home cooks. I'm not going to take anything away from home bakers or anything like that, because just because you're a home cook or home baker doesn't mean you don't know how to do those things, and you weren't professionally, because you wasn't professionally trained doesn't mean you don't know how to do those things. What I'm saying is that when you, okay, the thing about baking and even cooking, and then I'm going to go back into just the baking part. But the thing about baking and even cooking, when you're cooking for yourself or baking for yourself, that's fine and dandy. You can do things whatever. I mean, and when it comes to cooking is a little bit more forgiving than baking is, because certain things that you make when you bake them, certain things that you make, if you don't put things in the proper order, it can completely change your recipe. But going back into that, that's why I say cooking is a little bit more forgiving. I'm not downplaying, you know, chefs who that's their craft. Like, you know, like I'm business, but I business, but my concentration is in marketing. I'm not downplaying a chef who, you know, went to school for cooking, and that was it. I went to school for cooking, but I concentrated in as a pastry chef, because when you go to school for cooking, and let me just tell y'all this: I did not go to school for cooking because I don't know how to cook. No, that is not what school teaches you. To tell you the honest truth, if you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to cook. If you don't know how to no, let me backtrack. If you don't know how to cook, you can kind of learn cooking at school. But if you don't know how to, if you don't really truly, like, it's not within you of cooking, that finesse is not within you, you're going to have the basics and the things, and you know how to start it out and whatever, but it's not going to be, whoa, yeah, on point, because you're just going from a book. And that's with any field. If you don't get that, if you don't have that hard knock experience, because knowing it through a book is great, but you need that experience to back it up. And that's with any field. You need that experience. So in any case, I'm going all over the place, kind of, but I'm trying to stay within the realm. And yes, this video is much longer than any video that I've done, but you know, hey, whatever. So in any case, when you go to school for cooking, they also give you classes in baking, but it's like maybe like 1 or 2 classes. Whereas when you go to school for cooking, and then like myself, you also did baking, you know, the pastry chef side of it, you get much more and more extensive, you know, elongated, more extensive education in baking, you know. So all the people who go to school for cooking, yeah, they get the basics of baking, but they don't get it all. They don't really get it all, because they went to school for cooking. I went to school for cooking, but I also concentrated in pastry chef baking. So in any case, the reason why I'm saying that is, like I said, And like I said, if I'm incorrect, then y'all call me out and tell me something. You know, if you went to school for cooking and that was what you went to school for, and you sitting here saying that you could bake, well, I mean, hey, I'm not saying you can't bake. Maybe you know, you just know that because, you know, whatever the case may be. But I'm saying from the technical side of it, no. And any pastry chef will tell you, any pastry chef worth their weight, okay, worth their weight in dough, will tell you that if you did not go to school and specifically take the pastry chef part of it, no, not happening. Because it's a science. Food, when you're cooking, is much more forgiving. Not trying to down it, but I'm just saying it's a little bit more forgiving than baking. Baking is not really forgiving at all. You put stuff in the wrong order in your cake or your pie or whatever the case may be, it is not going to taste the same. It just isn't. So anyway, wait a minute. Where was I going with this? Where the heck was I going with this? Daughters and Divas, where was I going with this? Oh, so in any case, what I wanted to say was, what I did was, when I went to school with the idea of being able to put everything together. So I didn't just go to school. I did not just go to school for cooking, culinary arts. You know, just go there for culinary arts for cooking, and concentrate on anything. I had a whole plan because my plan was to open up my business. That was a whole plan. I had a whole plan, but I just didn't want to be able to cook and bake. I wanted to be able to cook and bake. I wanted to be able to know how to market my business. I wanted to be able to know the accounting part of my business, because that's very, very important. I wanted to know all of those different things, and so that if and when my business gets really big, to the point where I have to hire an accountant or a business manager, I'm not just hiring them and then they're doing their due diligence, they're doing their work, and I don't know exactly what they're doing. I will know. I'll be able to look at the books and see that they're not cooking the books or doing something wrong, or just mismanaging my money, or how the case may be. I will be able to know, because I will know what I'm looking for, and I will be able to know what what's going on. Whereas there are people who go into business, and I'm not saying that their business is not going to be successful, but there are people who go into business that only know one side of it. They might know the business side, as in the accounting, the things, the managing, and things like that, but they don't know how to cook. So now they have to find somebody who knows how to cook, or is a pastry chef, you know. So they don't know what's going on. They don't really know what's going on that side, and then that comes into problems, because if that person who they get is not a equal, forget about the partnership. If that person that they get is not a person who can be completely, who is actually really trustworthy, they can really screw them over, because they can say they need to order this or that, and how the case may be, and they're not really ordering these things, and this, because you don't know that side of it. And vice versa. If you're a person that knows how to cook and know how to bake, but you don't know the business side of it, the people that are working for you, the manager, the accountant, and stuff like that are doing the business side, can really, I'm not saying that they all do that, but what I'm saying is they can really screw you over, because if you got the books, you really wouldn't know what the heck you're looking at. So that's the reason why I'm saying that you don't have to do it. What I do, I'm just suggesting that you know both sides of the coin, especially when you are running a business. When you have a business, please know both sides of the coin. That is the main reason why businesses fail. because the people who have the business don't know both sides of the coin. They only know one side of the coin, and if the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing, something is going to be dirty in the wash. 9 times out of 10, something will be dirty in the wash. If they realize if the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing, and the left hand realizes that the right hand don't really know exactly what they're doing, something could get really dirty in the wash. That's really where that's going. But now back into the cooking part of it. Like I said, I'm gonna say again. If I am wrong, then you please comment and tell me that I am wrong. Definitely. Please comment and tell me that I am wrong. Just because you went to school for culinary arts don't necessarily mean that you know how to bake. Because baking, not just because baking is a science, but because baking is 1 or 2 classes that you get the real basics of. You have to actually go and do pastry chef to get the true ins and outs of it. Now, I know what I was, I'm talking, and as I'm talking, I realized where I was going with this whole thing. Where I was really going with this whole thing was, when you don't go to school. I mean, I didn't go to school unless somebody, like I said, if I'm wrong, correct me. I did not go to culinary arts school to learn how to cook. I already knew how to cook. I did not go to culinary arts school to learn how to bake. I already knew how to bake. I went to school, and this is the reason why people go to school, to enhance, especially when it comes to food, to enhance what you know, to get the technique down of what you know. That is the reason why people go to school. Now, if you're going to school because you want to learn how to cook, I don't think you're really gonna get nowhere. But you know how to cook, but you're going to get the technique down. And when I say get the technique down, going back into what I was saying before about the home cooks, I'm not taking anything away from them. However, as a home cook, I say the majority of home cooks could not really go into a restaurant or go into a restaurant and automatically just cook. Now, a lot of people want to say yes they can. No, they not really. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because going back into the technical side, when you make something for yourself, that's one thing. But when you're making something for many people, that's something totally different. And when I cook at home, because I can tell you for me, when I cook at home, I cook differently than I cook when I do catering, or when I do, when I do catering, or of that nature. Because of the simple fact of the matter, at home, I can add in an extra dash of this and this or that, or whatever the case may be, or da 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 da. But my business, I can't do that. Exactly how I made this dish is exactly how I need to make this dish. With the same measurements, I need to make the dish the same way. And that is what they teach you at school. The technical part of it. You can't just add a little of this and a little of that and do this and do that, whatever the case may be. Because then, of course, your dish is not going to come out the same each time. And that's the whole point. Especially when you have a business, a food business. Your dish is supposed to come out the same each time. Today, if I make a burrito today, a bean burrito today, for a client, and I don't make a bean burrito for that client till 3 months from now, that bean burrito that I made for that client 3 months from now should taste the same as the bean burrito I made for them today. You get what I'm saying? Whereas as home cooks, and when I'm doing home cooking, that's not the case. Because today I might have cilantro in it or something like that. And 3 months down the line, I might decide, no, I want to change it up. I want to make the highlight of it. I want to make it spicy, so I want to add cayenne pepper. You know, so obviously it's not going to taste the same. So that's really why people go to school for cooking. And then like I said, once again, I'm not taking anything away from home chefs. There are home chefs who go into restaurants and you know, and work. But however, most restaurants, you're not going to go into that restaurant as a home chef and be like the top and be the top chef. Not in no big name restaurant and just automatically be the top chef. You have to do your due diligence. You have to, you know, work your way up, prep cook and sous chef and things of that nature. You have to work your way up. I mean, on both sides of the coin, you really have to work your way up. Even when you go to school, you do have to work your way up also. But because you can go and work in a restaurant without ever going to school and be successful at it. But it has to do with the working of your way up, because the simple fact that you have to learn that when you make something, it's supposed to taste the same every time. That's all. And this was very, very long. But anyway, if you like it, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, comment. If you come for me, I will come for you. Because like I tell you most of the time, Frugal Diva will trump you. If you come for me and I didn't send it for you. Frugal Diva!